Democratic nomination race started within days after the 2018 midterms. Since then, a year has passed, 24 have declared their candidacy, and there have been 7 debates, and yet there is no clarity as to who will be the nominee. The reasons why are simple and don't bode well for the Democrats going forward. Reason number 3, it is so easy to run for president. In the internet mass media age, running for president has become rather easy. As a result, a crowded field has become the norm for the out party in presidential years. In the good old days, say the year 2000, running for president took political name, ID, connections, and loads of money. The number of viable candidates, therefore, were generally quite few. When Bush had raised the now quaint number of $100 million by January of 2000, he had nearly cornered the Republican primary market. In 2016, by contrast, the Republicans had more than 15 candidates run. In this cycle, a bevy of relative unknowns and many undeserving figures declared for the Democrat nomination. Take the candidacy of Beto O'Rourke. He was a 2016 sensation because technology permitted him to fundraise around the country in ways that far outsized his resume. When he reached the national level, he came back down to earth quite quickly and dropped out. Mayor Pete Buttigieg is 2020's Democratic shooting star, right? He has run a very successful campaign, including raising enormous amounts of money, even though few think he can win the nomination. That is quite the feat for a man whose claims to fame include garnering over 8,500 votes to be re-elected mayor of South Bend, Indiana. That is not a typo. He received just 8,515 votes and now is running for president and raising nearly $25 million a quarter. It turns out, however, that crowded fields, 24 candidates without a consensus candidate, I'm about to explain reason 2 in a minute, lend themselves to drawn-out primary seasons, the likes of which the Democrats are now experiencing. Reason number 2, there is no consensus Democrat candidate. In 2016, the Democrats did not have a crowded field of contenders. The open presidential seat attracted over 15 fairly prominent Republicans to the race. The Democrat race, on the other hand, quickly narrowed down to 2 candidates. Who were they in 2016? It was Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. For most Democrats, especially the Democrat establishment, Hillary Clinton was the consensus candidate. I gotta say, Bernie Sanders only identifies as a Democrat when he runs for president. Otherwise, he is a socialist masquerading as an independent. With that profile, Sanders is never going to be a favorite of establishment Democrats. By many means and many times unfair means, the Democrats and the Democrat National Committee made sure that their consensus candidate got the nomination over the socialist interloper Bernie Sanders in 2016. And all of this leads to reason 1. And reason 1 is also why the Democrats currently do not have a consensus candidate. Reason 1, the Democrat Party is deeply divided. Who speaks for today's Democrat Party? What are its core principles? Is there a single such spokesperson or set of principles? The answer is no. The Democrats are far more divided than the Republicans. Consider this. The huge government socialist wing of the Democrat Party, comprised of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, has over 35% of the support of the Democrat Party. Currently, Sanders leads Warren. If Warren would drop out, Sanders would be not only the clear leader in the Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and California polls, he would also be the clear leader of the national Democrat polls. The crowded field that we talked about in Reason 3, however, splits the vote of that wing of the party. Even so, it is more than likely that by the end of March, that wing of the party will have the most delegates. The left's media, the Democratic establishment, and the big Democrat donors, however, want nothing to do with either Sanders or Warren, let alone Sanders backers in the form of the Squad, AOC, and so on. Some have gone so far as to say they will sit out the race if either Sanders or Warren is the nominee. Importantly, rather than seriously dim their prospects, the supporters of especially Sanders view the lack of affection from the establishment as a badge of honour that spurs them on. Of course, the establishment's default candidate is Joe Biden. He is, according to them, electable. However, he has raised half as much money as Sanders, and Biden rallies remain rather small. Amidst that division, a niche candidate like Mayor Pete Buttigieg has also done quite well. The sum total of it all is that there are various camps with the Democrat Party and they are not playing well together. The far-left socialist group wants nothing to do with Biden. The establishment and moderates want nothing to do with Warren and Sanders. So divided are the Democrat voters that significant enough number of voters in either Democrat camp could sit out the election against Trump. That, of course, spells big trouble for the Democrat nominee and the Democrats' congressional and Senate candidates. Don't despair, however, there are 3 more Democrat debates to go. In other words, stay tuned, because for the Democrats in 2020, primary voting may not decide anything at all. Excellent story there by Thomas Del Beccaro, an acclaimed author, speaker, Fox News, Fox Business, and Epoch Times opinion writer, and former chairman of the California Republican Party. He is also author of The Historical Perspectives, The Divided Era, and The New Conservative Paradigm. So what are your thoughts on why the Democrat race remains undecided? Leave your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit notifications if you are new here. Just in closing, the Epoch Times is now offering print subscriptions. Link is in the description box. Be sure to head on over and check it out. From all of us here, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.